Hello everyone, my name is Vlad. I'm an entrepreneur, investor, and ISO analyst. And today I would like to discuss three tokens of the week. Now, this is not a top three chart. These three tokens are interesting, in my opinion, for short term or just generally. I want to talk about them as they got my attention. So let's start with the first token. So the first token which I want to discuss is called Mithril. Mithril is basically a decentralized social media platform that rewards content creators. And I think that the first analogy you're thinking about is probably Steemit. And I agree that it sounds as a similar concept, but there are some core differences, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit later. So, as a user produces valuable user-generated content on the network, they will earn myth via social mining. Their mining rewards will be directly linked to their influence and success as a contributor on the network. So, just as on Steemit, people write articles, they post some pictures, videos, and people upvote it or put like likes, and they share it, and the content creator gets rewarded by Steam bucks or something like that. And Mithril has a very similar concept, but um, I actually installed this application. Uh, I believe it called Lit, and to be frank, I did not like it at all. It kind of reminds me of some mixed of Instagram and Snapchat, more of a Snapchat concept. And people just take silly pictures or some short videos, and they upload it. People like it. You get rewarded for these by myth tokens. Uh, but there are a lot of issues with this application. First of all, it works really slow, and I thought maybe it's an issue with my phone. So I installed it on three different phones. I installed it on Samsung, I installed it on iPhone 6, and I installed it on iPhone 7, and it worked the same. uh, when you upload picture, it takes too long. There was like a time gap when you take a picture and the time when it loads before you get back on the menu. It also took me about 1 minute, and that's not very convenient. And I know a lot of people would feel pissed and they would just uninstall application. Of course, in the future they might fix it, but I'm not quite sure why do I need another Snapchat or another Instagram application. When we're talking about business model, yeah, it's kind of cool that they reward people, and that might motivate people to use this application because they will get rewarded with these tokens. However, think about it: if you have, I don't know, 300,000 subscribers on Instagram, and you take pictures, and all you need to do is to wear a Nike short or some other famous brand. So why? And they will pay you for this. Like if you take selfies with specific brands or companies, that will pay you. So why the hell I need Mithril and some cryptocurrency for this? Uh, Especially think it's like some I don't know, 18-year-old college girl. She doesn't really know what is cryptocurrency. She doesn't care about it, and that's not really what would fit her. So from business perspective, I honestly have some problems with scalability of the Mithril. And let's go on their actual website, and first we'll check the coin market cap, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So if we'll go on their official website, let's check. So, okay, here you see this application code leaked. Users could share their stories via lead stories, and um, I know that if you will go on the App Store, you'll see that there are not that many reviews, so this application is not that popular. And I see that they have pretty good team. I went through the LinkedIn profiles, and it's just average team. There is nothing really outstanding about it. But to be fair, despite that they have a pretty good partnership. Among them is Quantum, and that's one of the things that I really like. And I hope that cooperation between Myth and Quantum is quite deep. But at this point, it's really hard to say how deep is this cooperation. Is it, just an announcement that, oh, we know each other and we work on this platform, we use Quantum, or it's something more deep on more deep layer. Now, let's go back to coin market cap, and I want to talk to you about the recent price swings. So as we can see, it came on the market around 1 month ago, and first it started as 8 cents or approximately about that. Then we had at the end of March there was a really big spike when price went over 85 cents, closer to 90 cents, and that's like 10-time growth. Then we had a massive dump down to like 25, 24 cents, and then of course it was just moving sideways and slowly down. But now we started to experience another rapid growth, and now it's again 75 cents. Now, if we will look, the total supply of tokens is 1 billion, so it's a pretty big supply token, and I'm not quite sure if I would like to buy this token, even though, again, I can be completely wrong, and maybe in the future this application will be very popular, but so far I believe it's not ready for mass market. And if we will look at this company uh, from business perspective, I don't think they're really worth of $200 million. This company basically they just have this one application, they have some concept, and that's it. Uh, I really doubt they even have more than 4 or 5 thousand of active users worldwide, and majority of them is just people who installed probably application, looked at it, and forgot about it. They are not returning users. So let's take a look. The volume is actually pretty good. We can see it's actively traded token, 87 million, which means there is a really good liquidity of this token. But there is a one issue with liquidity. So if we will go on the market, we can see that it's listed only in BitHum and OKEx. So that's a bad sign. Uh, the good thing it's traded against USDT, which is actually helps uh, when you're exchanging, let's say on a Bitcoin or Ethereum, then the value of dollar doesn't matter. But when you trade against USDT, then you actually can in your calculation um, you can relay on USDT. So uh, let's take a look at, let's say, BitHump. Yeah, there it's 60. That's actually pretty big difference. If you can say here it's traded 77 cents, here it's 66 cents. Anyway, the volume is pretty significant, but it's not traded on majority of Western exchanges like Bittrex, Poloniex, and so on. I think Mithril has some potential, but in my personal opinion, it's extremely overvalued token. And another token which I want to talk about is Bitcoin Gold. Bitcoin Gold is actually not a new token, and they actually didn't have ICO. Bitcoin Gold is an airdrop of Bitcoin. Bitcoin Gold has some advantages over Bitcoin, but in its basic core, Bitcoin Gold is just Bitcoin. So, if you don't know, Bitcoin Gold was an airdrop which people received if they had Bitcoin on their wallets. Right now, Bitcoin Gold is ranked 25, which is not bad at all for an airdrop. Remember, it's not a hard fork, it's an airdrop. Now, the market capitalization is currently close to $900 million, so we're coming close to $1 billion, and its daily volume is pretty high. It's 21 million dollar. So we can say that it has some good liquidity. What I really like about Bitcoin Gold is that you can trade it on different exchanges. For example, on Binance, BitHub, Bitfinex, Bittrex. Those are the largest um, exchanges, and we can see that, for example, on Binance is $5 million, on Bittrex is $1.7 million. So if you have some, it's not really difficult to buy and sell this token. Now, what really concerns me is that the price went down significantly since November, December, and January. So its peak was approximately at the end of October and uh, at the early January, end of December. So the price was about close to $450. And what happened is that, I actually that day I remember I made about $4,000 trade in Bitcoin Gold. I bought uh, one day. I believe it was a day when Bitcoin Gold was listed on Bittrex, and I read that in upcoming news. So I bought a lot of Bitcoin Gold on hit BTC for maybe like 60, $50, and then later that day sold Bitcoin Gold for 250, $330 on Bittrex. So we can see that since late December, the price was just sliding down, and currently it doesn't really show any activity. The trading volume also decreased, but for example, you can see here trading va- um, the trading volume is uh, $250 million. It was $1 billion actually in December. So now the volume is actually pretty low. But as you can see, comparable to beginning of March, we can see the change and some growth in the volume. So that's a good indicator. So I don't have a lot of Bitcoin Gold. I believe I have somewhere like 7 or 8 tokens. But um, you know, considering that the price at the moment is $40, I wouldn't be surprised if sometime the price would be about 120, $180. That's what I believe is a possible goal. The problem with Bitcoin Gold is I don't really see why would Bitcoin Gold be good token in a very long term. So, for example, if we're talking about the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months, that's fine. But in a 3 or 4 years, I honestly don't see Bitcoin Gold M125 token. So for midterm, I really recommend like I bought it by myself and I hold it. But for long term, I have some doubts over the core value of this token. And finally, I want to talk about Zilliqa. Zilliqa is a very special token, and I really regret that I did not participate in ICO because I don't know, I literally missed this and I sort of ignored it. And, you know, sometimes it happens when you think that this token is just another overhyped token, and then eventually it's actually shoots up to the moon, and the price is already too high. So let's talk about Zilliqa. Well, Zilliqa is very interesting token because it offers a pretty high transaction per second capacity. So if we'll go on their website, we can see that it's the world first high throughput public blockchain platform designed to scale to thousands of transactions per second. So think about Bitcoin, where one of the hardest problem of Bitcoin, and actually Ethereum and Litecoin and a lot of these largest tokens, is their transaction per second and their scalability problems. So for example, if we're talking about a MasterCard, we're talking about 10 thousands of transactions per second, while Bitcoin offers, I don't remember the numbers, but let's say 12 transactions per second or like 6 transactions per second, which is like much, much, much lower if we want to consider Bitcoin as a payment system or some sort of exchange tool between customers. Uh, that's a very bad numbers. So Zilliqa is one of those who actually solves this problem, and we're talking about like team that follows the roadmap, and we can see that the project started in June, and the mainnet launch will be on the quarter uh, 2018. So I think that the price will really go up sometime closer to mid June, July, August, when they plan to release their testnet and mainnet launch. So if we go to website which I recommend you to use, it's called isodrops.com. We can see that the price per token was like 0.0038 dollars, and now it's 6 cents. So in US dollar value, it has grown 16 times, in Ethereum equivalent 15 times, and in Bitcoin 32 times. Wow, that's actually pretty good numbers, and I did not expect this token to go so up, and I really regret that I didn't get in, but it is what it is. And let's look at the current situation. The volume is $23 million, which is not bad. And the price was pretty steady. We didn't see any crazy spikes in volume, in trading volume, or just generally in the price. So the highest was somewhere approximately about 14, 15 cents, and now it's just 2 times, 2.5 times less. Let's talk about markets. It's traded on Binance and Huobi, KuCoin. These are pretty big exchanges, but there is still a lot of room for growth. So I think that Zilliqa, if they will be able to solve this scalability problem on the global level, then we might see Zilliqa somewhere in a top 20, top 15 tokens by the end of this year. I hope it will happen. And the only issue is that it has a pretty large supply of 20 billion tokens. Now, I hope that it will not scare you away, because let's, for example, compare with Ripple. Ripple has, I believe, somewhere around, yeah, it has much, much higher supply, and yet its price right now is 65 cents. And as we know, just this winter, the price went over $3. So let's not that trick you, and I think that Zilliqa has still good potential for growth. I don't have any Zilliqa at the moment because I am not very active on Binance or Huobi exchange, so I will wait till it gets on the exchanges where I'm used to trade. So anyway, I really recommend to all of you to take a look if you're on one of these exchanges. And I know it's kind of feels like, yeah, the price already went up. Should I buy it? But the thing is, you can always feel the same way. Like when the token goes down or below ICO price, the people will be like, oh no, it's a shit token, look, it's failed, I'm not gonna buy it. And only when it goes up like already 10 times, people are like, oh no, it already went up. So yeah, that's why you have to risk. So here, yeah, you might not get 1,000 time gains, but you can still expect your 10, 5, 15 maybe times gains, and it's still completely possible, I think, if the market will be keep developing as a bullish market, and if Zilliqa will be able to keep their roadmap and deliver all the promises about thousands of transactions per second, and uh, if there will be enough customers who will agree to use Zilliqa, because Zilliqa is not as let's say, famous or massively adopted as Ripple, Ethereum, Bitcoin, or even Bitcoin Cash. But the trading volume is a good sign. And as I said, the market capitalization is a $500 million. So I really recommend you to keep an eye on this token, as we might actually return to this token sometime later. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, I recommend you to uh, uh, send me a message on Telegram, or you can just simply write down comment here on YouTube, and I will answer you on the comment section, or in my chat on Telegram, which also recommended to subscribe for. So I hope you enjoyed this video and it was really helpful. I'll see you next time.